South Florida Broadcast Network is on the air. Welcome, everybody, to HIaleah, Miami Lakes High School for today's game between Miami S&S and the Sandlot Phillies. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jay Haybacht, along with my broadcast partner, as usual, Mr. Justin Bresner. Justin, welcome.
Thanks, Jay. Looking forward to a good game here today. The sun is out, cooking everybody, but we got a little wind going. See if that affects how the ball flies today.
Well, this is the first AUBL Miami game that we have had in about a month, and we are very, very excited to get the spring 2018 season underway with our first broadcast of the season. We are also broadcasting in a new medium. Today is our first broadcast on YouTube, and we are hoping, folks, that this will give the viewers an even better experience than we had previously on Ustream, and we look forward to great improvements with using YouTube. So with that being said, today's umpires are behind the plate, Doug Geffner, and in the field, Billy Abrams, and the managers for each team, Uli Pena, the manager for the Miami Storm, Mike Santana, the assistant manager, and then Oni Acosta, the manager for the Sandlot Phillies. And of course, Justin, because we don't have stats yet, we'll have to give everybody the best description we can, as we are still too early in the season to have actual stats. But we will let everybody know, just as we always do, who's hitting and what their previous work has been in AUBL Miami. Dougie!
I get your lineup now, Jay.
Dougie, we're good. Oh, Uli, I need a lineup. Mikey, I need a lineup.
I'm not going to be out televised game. I'm just in the dugout, regular manager, and I'll just manage from the dugout. And later, if I come in the game, I'll switch it. I don't have enough uniforms.
How many do you have?
21. I got 24 guys here.
No, dude, podcast.
The numbers too?
Oh, but not last names. What am I going to say, Ricky? You've done this before.
I know.
You're no rookie. Go to my website. So, folks, if the gentleman on your left in the bright lime neon green shirt looks familiar, that is because it is Scotty Berman, who, of course, did great commentary with us in our Homestead High versus Coral Reef High School game, where Scotty spent about 4 innings with us, Justin, and broke down the game of baseball with us, and broke down his pitching methods and what he teaches to those high school kids. And it was quite a 4 innings that he spent with us. We had a lot of viewers give feedback on that segment. So Scotty Berman is here and probably will be pitching at some point today. Yeah, Rick? Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Who to me? If for no other reason, it's good to be on YouTube just so we can use your phone. If for no other reason, it's good to be on YouTube just so we can use your phone. If for no other reason. Doug, I'm ready. If for no other reason. Doug, I'm ready. I just need a lineup. Doug, I'm ready.
Jay. Listen to it. It's looping.
No.
You just said if for no other reason 8 times in a row went on there. 8 times.
Oh, okay.
8 times.
It's picking up that. You gotta lower that. That's why. It'll always do that. You need it to be far enough away from the microphone and loud enough so you can hear it. Thanks, sir. How many guys you got today?
We're hitting 10 and then
Okay. Are these all your players on your roster?
it's been a while, man.
Killing me.
It's been a while.
You're making my job like 50 times harder than when we don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Next time for a broadcast, speak about, like if you were broadcasting with the team, Mikey, you gonna give it to me? Oh. Mikey. So we're good? Need a lineup. Oh, you got it? You got it? Okay.
Kind of.
All right, we are ready for action. So Ryan Herzon is going to lead off for this Miami Storm team. This is way too loud. Mario Morales, the pitcher for the Phillies, being heavily scouted, of course. And I'm being told there are some people looking at Morales here today. And he gets one in for a strike, so the count 1-1 to Ryan Herzon. This should be an interesting matchup here, Justin, as Ryan Herzon has been able to hit just about every pitcher in AUBL Miami and gets a good piece of that one, but it goes foul down the left side. Ryan Herzon, one of the best all-around players in AUBL Miami, has been in AUBL Miami almost since its inception back in 2014. Big swing at the curveball, and he struck him out. So Mario Morales starts off with his best foot forward and strikes out the very difficult out, Ryan Herzon. You can see the sharp break on that curveball, Justin, is Mario Morales, a very impressive pitcher. We saw him in our first game. Dade Diamondbacks faced him, and he threw a complete game. Gave up only one earned run against a tough Dade Diamondback squad. And now it's Uli Pena, the manager, coming to hit. Pena, a career 350 hitter in AUBL Miami. On deck, the dangerous Nick Silva, and then you get into the really tough part of this lineup as Andy HIaleah, Adrian Fagin, and Gio Todaro will follow him. Pena walks. He's going to bring up Nick Silva. That one gets away, and Pena is going to make it to second. He's also going to take a turn. Just catch up for the Phillies. 99.
Carlos Reyes.
So Carlos Reyes was tempting Pena to go to third, almost asking him to go to third as he picked up the ball and stared him down.
I'll just do it as it goes. I'll just do it as it goes.
Morales looks in, slowing up the pace a bit now. Big swing from Silva. He was going for the fences with that one, Justin, as we have seen Nick Silva play long ball here in AUBL Miami. That one in for a strike. Time called.
And here's Oni.
And Oni Acosta now making an appearance in the booth. We always love having Oni, as Oni is one of our regulars. This one gets away. Here's the play at third base. He's going to be out at third. Pena got a late jump. Carlos Reyes was on that quickly, Justin. It seemed like Pena was kind of seeing what Reyes was going to do before deciding to go. I think he would have been better served to just go right out of the gate instead of waiting to see what Reyes was going to do.
Well, the backstop being so far back here from home plate, any pass ball is usually an extra base, if not two. But in
And
that
there's
case,
a
just like this one, he doesn't let the ball get so far away from him.
fouled straight back. Yeah, and well, on that one, it seemed as though the ball didn't get away that far. I think Pena,
Right.
maybe not knowing Carlos Reyes behind the plate and what kind of arm he had and what kind of footwork he had, I think maybe underestimated him, is more of what I think happened there. Pounded into the ground foul. Andy HIaleah will get it on deck, gives a quick salute to the camera. That one also hit into the ground foul. Very deep pitching staff for the Miami S&S team, as they have 3 solid pitchers. And that one again into the ground foul. Justin, we've seen these pitchers as the Miami Storm, which is the jerseys they're wearing today, are the Miami Storm jerseys. Aldo Morales, Angel Morales, both throw upper 80s, lower 90s, both left-handed brothers, tall pitchers. And then, of course, you have Scotty Berman, who we mentioned in our pregame show. That one popped up. Should be an easy out. They call it a can of corn in center field, and that will do it. So Morales able to pitch around a 1-out walk and no run score here in the first inning for Miami S&S, and we are through a half an inning. Miami S&S 0, Sandlot Phillies coming to bat. You are watching AUBL Miami Baseball on the South Florida Broadcast Network. And Justin, it's really great, now that we're on YouTube, we've been waiting for YouTube to give us the chance to go live. And now that YouTube has changed some of its policies and procedures, we now have the ability to broadcast our games right onto YouTube, which is really great for AUBL Miami because we already had a channel on YouTube, and now we can just broadcast our games on the same channel we have all our videos. Makes it a one-stop shop for our customers. So we are really excited to be able to broadcast this way. And of course, Justin, me and you have done, what would you say, 30 high school games in the last 6 months?
Yeah, right around there.
And maybe 10 or 12 college games. And it's going to be nice now that we have the capability of using YouTube. It's going to be really great to use that medium as we go forward with all of our partners, especially with HSBN, as Anthony Utariello, the president of HSBN. It'll be really great for us to work with him, and now being on YouTube doing our high school games.
Yeah, so far so good working with SBN. I mean, they did pretty well in that All-Star thing that we did with Dade and Broward about a month ago.
HSBN. Yeah.
HSBN, sorry.
Yeah, so we are SFBN.
SFBN.
We'll get this right for you folks. There's
Right.
too many BNs going on here. But yeah, HSBN had a couple of really great events for us, and we were so glad that we could join Anthony Utariello and the gang for the West Palm All-Star game, and then we were able to do both Dade and Broward All-Star games, and those were both great events. We were really glad we could share that with everybody. So here come the Sandlot Phillies, and it's going to be Peter Baldrich leading off. Baldrich has had a great season so far. He had 3 hits against the Dade Diamondbacks in their first game. So Aldo Morales tried to keep these brothers straight for Miami S&S. Aldo Morales will take the mound. And that one fouled straight back and out of play. On deck is Larry Bravo. Larry Bravo, of course, has been in the league for many years as well. A lot of veterans, HIaleah Miami veterans in this game. Fastball right on the outside corner in for a strike. That is a tough pitch to hit, Justin. If Aldo Morales can hit that spot today, it's going to be hard for these Phillies hitters. As you can see, the velocity on Aldo Morales. That one fouled out of play.
Play.
That's that board.
Okay, guys, I need baseball. Okay. Asking you shall receive. Thank you.
Not much wind today, Justin. We'll see how the day goes along with that. A lot of our broadcasts sometimes are dictated by the wind. And today, fortunately, we're only at about maybe 7 to 10 miles an hour of wind right now, which is low for us. Usually we're dealing with about 15 or 25 miles an hour of wind, and it can be a little difficult. Folks, you got to remember, we don't have a broadcast booth. We are out in the elements just like these players are, and it makes for a very interesting broadcast. That one up and away. Up and in, I should say. So again, folks, we are live on YouTube. Our first ever YouTube broadcast. That one sliced into the hole. Backhand play is going to be safe at first base. That was a tough play in the hole, Justin. I think we'll find out what the official score says on that one. Oh, he did give him an error. So Baldridge reaches on an error on the shortstop. I thought maybe he might give him a hit there, but the official score today...
Hello, my friend. How you doing?
The official score today was not so generous.
Nope.
I think maybe in the high school game we would have maybe seen a hit there. Hard to judge because, Baldridge's speed, you never know. And I think part of what the official scorer has to deal with is all the elements. Would he have been safe at first with average, above average effort?
I'm missing an eye.
That went out of play. Larry Bravo, a very scrappy number 2 hitter, ideal number 2 hitter. He's one of those players that is really hard to get out. He'll get the bat on the ball. Throw to first. Today, Greg Rosario hitting third. Greg Rosario played at Miami-Dade College. Of course, we do Miami-Dade College games, and Greg Rosario, an outfielder for Miami-Dade College. I know Coach Danny Price. I spoke with him this week, and he might even be watching us today. So let's give a quick shout out to head coach of Miami-Dade College, Danny Price. Of course, we love working with Danny. And of course, we love working with Steve Hertz, as Danny Price and I have been working together.
That one got past him, so Baldridge's going to take second on that overthrow.
And it was only a matter of time. He was throwing over there over and over again. And, the thing about Aldo Morales, it's a double-edged sword because he throws so hard. Sometimes that can work against you when you're throwing to first base. Maybe the first baseman might not see the ball coming in so well, and it's all of a sudden it's on top of you, just like a hitter. Sometimes, and also that ball is moving sometimes, because if you don't have the right grip on the baseball as a pitcher. And that one hit him.
And that one stuck into the fence here, Jay. I think he got clipped with that, Jay.
Yeah, no, he definitely got hit. I think he might even got hit in the helmet.
And there's the ball stuck in the fence.
Emilio Medina coming into your living room. Medina, also a longtime HIaleah Miami veteran. So Bravo gets hit with the pitch, and not the start that Aldo Morales was hoping for, and now Greg Rosario, the aforementioned Greg Rosario, comes to bat. He has had a great season so far. He has been hitting the ball well. He has been running well, and one of the things I spoke with Danny Price about is he's really taking the game of baseball seriously, and that's the one thing that Danny Price and the Miami-Dade College program, you cannot be anything less than 110% with that program. And one of the things about playing in this league is that it will show those habits, and it looks like
there,
we
Jay.
did have a balk, so runners will advance to second and third. And Justin, this could be a good thing or a bad thing, because now Greg Rosario might get the bat taken out of his hand. Obviously, you cannot intentionally walk anybody in AUBL Miami until the 6th inning, but you can unintentionally walk
Sure.
a batter. So would that be a UIBB? If the intentional walk is an IBB, is that a UIBB?
UIBB, yep.
I think we just created new lingo.
Yes, we did.
So Greg Rosario now will have a very interesting at-bat, because Aldo Morales doesn't have to pitch to him here. He can throw curveballs in the dirt and walk him. Slowing down his delivery. And there's one curveball in the dirt, so either I was clairvoyant or that was the right pitch to call there. The catcher, Carlos Reyes, is on deck, so it'll be interesting to see if they do walk him, what Reyes is able to do. Reyes already, and there's a fastball outside, and I don't think he had any intent of throwing a strike there either. Reyes, of course, shut down the last inning with his great throw to third base on a pitch from Mario Morales that got away. And that one inside. Good discipline here from Greg Rosario. Inside, he's got to be so excited to hit the ball right now. He's
Absolutely.
He's on a broadcast. His coach might be watching.
Yeah.
He's going against a lefty throwing upper 80s, lower 90s. And that went up high, and it is ball 4, just as we expected. The UIBB, as it will now henceforth be called.
Known.
I might even put it in my scorebook.
Okay.
UIBB. Looks good. I like it. So here's Carlos Reyes. Fouled out of play.
Yeah, this is quite a spot for Morales here. Nobody out. Bases loaded.
Well, I guarantee you, S&S did not expect to be in this position in the first inning against the Phillies. And that went outside. The one thing Morales does, and I got to say, Justin, this happens with a lot of pitchers. The one thing you don't want if you're Aldo Morales is to throw 4 intentional walk, an unintentional intentional walk, throw 4 balls, and then you can't find the strike zone for the next batter. There's a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. So today, I guess, is the battle of the Moraleses, as we have Mario
3.
Morales
Yes.
pitching
Do we not?
for the Phillies. There are 3, but there are 2 going against each other right now.
Correct.
2 pitchers. The 2 pitchers are both named Morales. We have
Aldo and Mario.
Yeah, Aldo on the mound right now, and Mario Morales pitching for the Phillies. And it looks like Emilio Medina saw something he didn't like. He called for time and wants to make sure he gets the signs right. This is not a situation, Justin, where they can afford any problems, because any pitch in the dirt or any pitch that gets away from Medina is at least 1 run.
Right. Absolutely. Man, they can't afford
And
to
I
walk
say at
somebody
least
in.
because of the amount of space back here. You just never know what's going to happen. The ball could start pinballing around. Tense situation here for Aldo Morales. Big sweeping curveball, just missed up high. the count full, 3-2, no outs, bases loaded here in the first inning. That one
That's a
hit,
shot.
but right at Uli
Right at
Pena,
second
so
base. Nice.
it'll be an unproductive out. The one thing the Phillies did not want there is an unproductive out. But they still have another crack at it here, Justin, as there's only one out, and Simon Perez now the batter.
Followed by the Roy brothers, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Chris and Rich Roy have both been very good hitters in AUBL Miami, coming over from the Miami Twins last season. They were hitting third and fourth on that Miami Twins team. Obviously, you can see how good this Phillies team is. They're hitting sixth and seventh. But as twin brothers, you got to have them hitting back to back, right?
Sure.
You can't break that up, even if it's eighth and ninth. They got to hit back to back. Game has slowed down tremendously here. That one popped up. This is going to be a tough play with the wind up there and the sun, and Uli Pena again makes the catch. Justin, could the Storm get out of this?
It's
possible. Is that even possible? It looked like the Phillies were going to put up a crooked number this inning, and now all of a sudden with 2 outs, the Storm could come out unscathed.
Absolutely.
And that could be a huge momentum shift. I mean, me and you in these broadcasts always talking about momentum and how important in baseball momentum is. And this could be an incredible momentum shift. Oni Acosta, the head coach, is at first base, clapping his hands vigorously over there, trying to get something going, make sure he doesn't lose this opportunity to score.
Well, here's the first of the Roys, Chris Roy.
Swings at that pitch that was low.
Yeah, it was well down in the dirt
and
there.
One thing you don't want to do against Aldo Morales is swing out of the strike zone. It's hard enough to hit Morales if you swing in the strike zone. I'm going to use his first name. I can't say Morales because we've got Mario Morales for the Phillies.
Aldo.
So it is hard enough to hit Aldo. And that one hit again at Uli Pena. He's going to make all 3 outs of the inning. Unbelievable.
And no runs scored. Wow.
A fielder's choice, 4-6, will end the inning, and that will do it. The Phillies were threatening with bases loaded, no outs in the first inning, had their number 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up, and could not get any runs across. That is very impressive, Justin.
Yes, it is. Some serious defense there from S&S.
So we go to the top of the second inning. Miami S&S 0, Sandlot Phillies 0. You are watching AUBL Miami Baseball on the South Florida Broadcast Network. So now Mario Morales comes back out for his second inning of work. And Justin, the one thing about Mario Morales that we've seen is he's more than capable of throwing a complete game. So even though the Phillies do have other pitchers here today, we may very well see Mario Morales go all 9.
Well, the game will dictate whether that happens.
And he's got enough pitches where you can have 3, 4 at-bats against him and not see the same sequence of pitches. You could technically, it would be like having 3 different pitchers.
Right.
Would you rather?
No. Unless it's the last one and you want it.
No. We're good.
Okay.
We're more than good.
Okay.
We could be here a doubleheader and still. It is a hot one out here, folks, but you know, the one good thing is we do have some cloud cover. So unlike what we've seen at many of our events where the sun just blazes and cooks all in its path, today it's actually quite temperate with the clouds. This is Andy HIaleah.
Now that's someone who knows what they're doing. Lady's got her own fan. That's how you do it, Jay. So we know for next time. She's got her own padded chair. I've seen a bunch of people with the padded chairs, but she's definitely... There's a shot to
Andy
third.
HIaleah up and over
Gonna
to
make that
first,
throw.
and he got him. HIaleah, not as speedy as he used to be. He's put on a little bit of weight over the years.
First fan I've seen with a fan.
I will tell you, has traded power for some of that speed and goes down 5-3 to start the second inning. And speaking of power,
Adrian Fahine.
who also incidentally does have some speed. You know, for a big man, Adrian Fajin can move very well, even though he's pushing about 3 bills up there. But I'll tell you, when Fajin gets a hold of a ball, you know it.
I can imagine.
But you know, Justin, the one thing about Adrian Fajin that a lot of people may not know is he hits for a very high average. So he's not your today's type of hitter where it's a strikeout or a home run.
Right.
Fajin really doesn't strike out all that much.
It's more like a Paul Molitor.
That one hit hard, but right at the first baseman, and he will take it himself. So 2 outs in the inning. Two quick outs recorded by Mario Morales here on 2 of the toughest outs for the Storm. Andy HIaleah and Adrian Fajin, both balls hit on the ground right at the third baseman and right at the first baseman. So now it's going to be Gio Todaro, who had a wicked broken nose last year that he is still recovering from. I was talking with Gio a couple weeks ago. I said, "Hey, how's the nose doing?" You know, it's been at least a year since he broke his nose. I said, "Hey, how's
That's hit
the
by a pitch?
No, it was incidental contact on a player coming home. You know, he's a catcher.
Right.
So
Okay.
he was catching for another team, and this is going back about a year and a half ago, and he was catching for the Reds, who ended up being the champions that season. So I asked Gio a couple weeks ago. I said, "Hey, how's the nose doing?" I hadn't talked to him in a little while, and this one grounded over to short, up and over to first. Again, Todaro does not run as well either, and nice pick over there by Dickey. And 1-2-3 inning, and we'll continue that story on Gio Todaro in just a minute.
Yeah, again, Mario Morales now only faced 6 batters in the first 2 innings here.
And very impressive, and you can see the ball moving, wicked movement on Mario Morales' pitches. Not throwing quite as hard as Aldo Morales, but you can see he's pounding the strike zone, balls moving around everywhere, forcing hitters to hit his pitches because he's throwing strikes, and they're pounding the ball into the ground. And as long as the Phillies defense stays solid like what we've seen, I mean, we saw the third baseman make a play, we saw the shortstop make a play, and we saw the first baseman make a play. So
Absolutely.
we're seeing the Phillies have a very solid infield, and as long as that infield and outfield remain solid for the Phillies, it is going to be hard for this SNS team to score, especially since right now Mario Morales has faced the minimum. So going back to talking about Gio Todaro, you know,
Yeah.
I asked him, I said, "Look, you know, that collision you took was pretty rough on your nose. You know, tell me, how are you doing?" He said, "You know what, Jay? I still have problems." This was a year and a half ago, Justin. And he still gets headaches, and he still has things. The doctor said, you know, eventually you'll get over it, but it's gonna take a long time. And I never realized, you know, broken nose can be, you know, a year and a half of difficulty like that. I thought, you know, you get a broken nose, you're out for a few weeks, you know, like a fighter, and you know, you do what you got to do, and then you're back 100%. But absolutely not. Gio Todaro has had a miserable time getting over that broken nose. So we want to wish him a good recovery long term and a speedy recovery.
Yeah,
I
because
guess
when
speed-
cartilage is broken like that, it can be broken in multiple places, which means it's a lot longer of a timetable for recovery.
Exactly. And
He's out here today, so
I guess Speedy's out of the question, Justin. I think a year and a half, I think, qualifies as you're no longer in Speedy territory.
No, you're well past Speedy.
I think I can only say we wish him a good full recovery.
Absolutely.
Let me see that.
And he is. Oh, that's a shot, Jay. That's going to get down.
The first base hit of the game.
Yes, it is.
And he takes
That's a well-hit ball.
wide turn.
Oh.
And now he's going to second base.
Yes, he
on the
is.
error. So a single, and he forced that throw.
Yes, he did.
So Rich Roy. Let me see that lineup card.
It's here.
So there seems to be some confusion as to who's coaching where, but I think Oni Acosta's now got that under control.
Well, that was a well-hit ball by Rich Roy.
So Dicky Martinez will take first base to coach as they've gotten that straightened out. So a clean base hit for Richard Roy. And that one sliced foul out of play. I take it back, Dicky Martinez. Oh, actually, that was, I think my score sheet here is having difficulty as I'm seeing number 27 now up, which is Rich Roy. We thought Rich Roy.
Yeah, we thought he just hit.
Had just hit.
So, well.
So we got to find out who is on second base. After this batter, we will see if we can find that out. So Dicky Martinez is on deck.
And this is now Rich Roy.
So there is a batter that somehow slid in there. On our scorecard, we had Chris Roy followed by Richard Roy. But I guess there was somebody sandwiched in between Chris and Rich, and we'll find out.
Big swing and a miss.
Foul tipped that one into the glove of Emilio Medina, and he is out.
He is out. That is the foul tip. So Rich Roy. Not easy when the lineup.
This is why we
sheet
use
is not
pencils
correct.
and not pens in our scorebook, Justin.
Yeah.
So now Dicky Martinez will come to hit. Martinez came over from the Boca Red Sox.
Oh,
and there's a play at second base.
Knocked his helmet off.
Lost some equipment, but I think everybody's okay over there. And Billy Abrams gets time. Looked like he might have taken a little bit of a shot.
Yeah, he
there.
might have taken the tag in the face there, and that might be why the helmet flew off. But that was a second baseman trying to make the tag behind him, essentially.
Willie Pena looked at him and say, "It's your fault, man. Why are you diving head first?" This game moving a little slow right now as neither team has been able to put any runs on the board. We are 45 minutes into the game, and we are still only in the top of the second inning. Excuse me, the bottom of the second inning. The pace of this game will have to speed up a little bit if they're going to play all 9 today, Justin, which we hope they do. That fastball in for a strike. Look at the cut on that fastball. Really good movement. Almost like a slider. But good velocity. He's definitely manipulating that baseball, a la Scotty Berman style. And Martinez pounds it into the ground, up and over to first. It's a tough play, but a nice play over there at first base. 2 outs in the inning. So player X has made his
Player
way.
X over
Has
third
made his way to third base.
with 2 outs. And this is David Rodriguez coming up to bat, is it not?
It is David Rodriguez.
Okay.
So I think the lineup has recovered.
We're just missing a player in between the Roys.
Yes. David Rodriguez, of course, the brother-in-law of Oni Acosta, one of the assistant coaches on this team. Really good guy. Love dealing with Dave. Did he go? No, he did not. Neither Doug Geffner nor Billy Abrams said he went. As he definitely had the intent of going, but he was able to hold that bat back on his shoulder. Tough to do that. Good bat control there from David Rodriguez. Rodriguez needs something here to get that run across. Ball gets
That's
away,
not
but
gonna do
not
it.
far enough. Emilio Medina, like a cat back there, is very quick on his feet. One of the quickest catchers we have in AUBL Miami. Oh, I don't think I ever locked my car. Oh, and he gets into right
That's
field.
gonna drop.
It's going to be
That's going to get down.
a base hit. So David Rodriguez gets the first run of the game across
The phantom run.
as it's number 13, which is Chris Roy.
Chris Roy.
So now we have to find out who made the last out of the last inning. But now we know who player X is, so that's good news. So Chris Roy scores the first run of the game, and Chris Roy is the one who had the base hit into left center field. So we're going to have to figure out who's up here now.
Number 1.
So George Alvarez, now the batter. They're doing an A-B spot. So
Okay,
George,
so I think that our missing guy is either number 0 or number 3.
missed with that one. So today the Phillies using the A-B slot. So George Alvarez in the A slot for the number 10 batter.
But technically it's number 11 batter. Technically he's the 11th guy because we're missing. It's going to be number 3 or number 0.
Excuse me, David Rodriguez is 10A and George Alvarez is now 10A. As the A-B slot, for those of you unfamiliar, in AUBL Miami and in other leagues as well, the A-B slot is used to get more players into the game. It is where 2 players at the end of the lineup will share a spot, so it'll be every other time. Instead of taking every at-bat, they'll take every other at-bat and get them to strike out there. So David Rodriguez, the big hero this inning, has gotten a run across with an RBI hit for the Sandlot Phillies. And the Phillies, after 2 innings, leading Miami S&S 1-0. You are watching AUBL Miami Baseball on the South Florida Broadcast Network. Mario Morales, smooth as silk out there, is out for his 3rd inning of work. Wind starting to pick up here. You can see, at least we can see in our broadcast position, the canopy starting to sway a little bit here.
It's good on such a hot day.
We do need it.
But then again, we're not out there playing, so we don't know how it's going to affect the pitches coming in and the hits going out. But we'll find out as the game progresses.
I'm going to see if we can find out from Oni Acosta who the player was before Chris Roy.
Not just when you write it down, huh? It's when you hand it to others.
Where's the one I gave you?
All right, Justin, the mystery person is Carlos Garrido.
Garrido hit after Simon.
So
Okay.
Carlos Garrido was not on our sheet, but we found out it was
28.
it was human error.
That's
Okay.
28 and that's 25. That's where I made the mistake.
Okay.
Was that a walk or a hit by pitch? Doug, was that a walk or hit by pitch? Thank you.
He struck first, so hopefully we can strike again.
So Josh Perez is hit by Mario Morales, and that is the second base runner that he's given up, although he has faced up until that point the minimum and almost hit the next batter coming in as Ricky Alvarez now the batter. Alvarez, I believe, playing shortstop today. We don't have the fielding positions for the Storm, but I believe Alvarez is playing shortstop. That one hit hard in the hole. That's going to be a base hit. So the Miami Storm starting to put a little bingo together here. Bottom of the lineup doing some damage here for the Storm. And Emilio Medina hitting ninth today and catching. Medina, Justin, not uncommon for him to hit third or fourth on a lot of teams. So I think the Phillies have to be very careful with what they do with Medina here, because I would not be shocked if he puts one off the fence here. If they give him a meaty fastball here, Medina will make him pay. He gave him a curveball, just missed. Into the ground foul. Let's see if I can fix the camera.
So this is Ricky Alvarez at the plate?
This is Emilio Medina.
Emilio Medina, okay.
Ricky Alvarez had a base hit into left field. Is now at first base.
So that will put Perez over at second. All right. Dino makes
That one
contact
pounded into the
with
ground foul.
Oh. Third baseman tried to get it with his hat on the fly. Was unable to do so.
Minor adjustment of the camera. Big situation here for the Storm, down 1-0. And Medina hits one to center field. This is going to be a hard play. And he makes the catch. The runner tags. And he's on his way to third, and they're going to get him at second base. He's in a rundown. And now the other runner may try to score and does not, so there is no rundown. Smart play by both teams there. So it'll go as a sac fly. Emilio Medina gets the ball far enough into the outfield to advance Josh Perez to third. Ricky Alvarez found himself in a rundown, and the Sandlot Phillies smartly let him get back to his original base, because the one thing you don't want to do there, Justin, is give up a run needlessly. Let him earn it. And now it's Mike Santana, the assistant coach of this Storm team, who has a little magic in his bat as well. Swung through that fastball. Fake throw to first base from Reyes. They have to be careful here because Alvarez does have speed at first base, and he is probably going to be off with the pitch, and he is. And they do throw through.
He's safe.
And he's safe at second. I got to tell you, this game is being played, Justin, a lot like a college or a pro game, because in the high school game, as you know, when that runner goes, you typically don't throw through.
Right.
You know, here in AUBL Miami, it's kind of a 50-50. Sometimes you'll see people throw through. Sometimes you won't. It really just depends on who the personnel is. And Mike Santana tries to bunt. Unbelievable. He did not show the bunt until late and ends up popping it up. Oh, boy. That is a tough out for the SNS to give up there. So it's going to be up to Ryan Herzon. Now, it's not a bad idea. I like the idea of bunting there. But if you're going to bunt, you can't pop it up. You don't want to just give an out away like that.
No, you sure don't.
It'll go down as a pop-up to the catcher. So that is the second out of the inning. And again, Ryan Herzon, a very tough out. And he popped it up. This is going to be a hard play with the wind, and he makes the catch. Oh, boy. SNS had something going there. And the Phillies shut it down. 2 pop-ups to the catcher. When's the last time you saw that, Justin?
I haven't yet in the games that we've been doing, Jay. I think that's the first.
So no runs for SNS. And again, Justin, 2 on with no outs and unable to score. Unbelievable.
Yeah, great defense by the Phillies so far.
We go to the bottom of the third inning here at HIaleah, Miami Lakes High School. It is 1-0 in favor of the Sandlot Phillies on the South Florida Broadcast Network. You are watching AUBL Miami baseball. And it's been a very interesting game so far, Justin. I mean, you don't need a lot of runs to be scored to have an interesting game. And,
no.
You know, sometimes a game like this is even better because when runs are at a premium, you get that tension building up.
Well, it's definitely building now with a 1-0 game.
Couple defensive changes for Miami SNS.
So this should be back where we started with the Phillies at Baldrige.
I don't see a right fielder for SNS.
Yes, Baldrige. All right. Back to the top.
And now it looks like everybody's moving back to their regular positions. I guess everybody was just warming up in different spots, but now Miami SNS has gone back to their original positions.
Are you doing? Someone to come see Jay?
So we have now in the booth one of the Moraleses, Mario Morales, is here, and we'll get to talk to him for a minute. Mario Morales has been very impressive so far, putting up zeros for Miami against Miami SNS, a very tough Miami SNS team. So Mario Morales is in the booth, and that one grounded to second base. Uli Pena up and over to first, and he got there quickly. And it's a good thing he did because Baldrige showed some speed there. And we are underway here in the top of the third inning. Baldrige goes down 4-3. We have Mario Morales in the booth. We're very glad to have you here, Mario. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to be here.
So, Mario, tell the audience out there what it's been like in AUBL Miami so far. What do you think of the league? How do you like the competition, the fields, the umpires? Give us an idea of what you've seen so far from the league.
I have nothing to complain about this league. I've been in other leagues, and this is probably the best league I've been in. Everything's super organized. The players, the umpires. No, there hasn't been no forfeits. Every team shows up. It's just, it's great. It's great, especially for me that I'm in college and I use the summer to work out and stuff. So I'm glad I was able to have this opportunity to play here.
Yeah. So, speaking of college, and we'll segue into that now. I do know that there are some college coaches watching today.
Yes.
And there are some watching here. Larry Bravo strikes out on a beautiful curveball from Aldo Morales. Very nice pitch there. I believe we have coaches from Broward College watching today.
Yes.
And also, I spoke with the head coach of Miami-Dade College, Danny Price, earlier in the week, and he may be watching as well. You never know who's watching on the broadcast. So,
Yep.
So far, very impressive performance from you.
Thank you.
And, one thing we've noticed, Mario, is you're not just looking to overpower the hitters. You try to use your brain, your mind, and your ability to locate your pitches. How many pitches do you throw? And that one hit him on the back of the leg, unfortunately for Greg Rosario. Speaking of Miami-Dade College, Greg Rosario, of course, plays for Miami-Dade College.
Yep, he's a great player.
Greg is, and unfortunately got hit with that pitch there. But give us an idea of what you like to throw. Are you a fastball, slider, curveball? Do you throw a sinker? Do you have a changeup? Give us an idea of what pitches, because I got to tell you, from our broadcast position, and we are right behind home plate, sometimes even I can't tell what you're throwing, and I'm a pitcher. So you're fooling me, whatever you're doing. Give us an idea of what kind of pitches you're throwing out there.
My fastball, people confuse it for changes because I don't throw four seams. I only throw two seams.
So a sinker.
Yep.
We call that one a sinker. Okay.
So I get a lot of movement from my fastball because I throw it from different angles.
Okay.
My favorite pitch is my curveball, but I haven't been able to land it today. I've been struggling with the pitch, but
your curveball to me looks like a 12-6.
Yes.
It looks like it goes up and comes straight back down. And again, a snap throw to first base. Justin, he's got to be careful. The last time he did that, we saw base runners running all over the place. So Aldo Morales has to be very careful on those pickoff plays. So, Mario, you throw a sinker, you throw a curveball, which is a 12-6 curveball. What else do you throw?
I throw a really nice changeup too, but I haven't been using it because my fastball's been dominating. Since I haven't been able to land my curveball, I'm just trying to really locate my fastball, get the corners in, try to break that movement more. So hopefully it's been working.
Well, that's a good
for me.
luxury to have, when your fastball has that much movement on it. Nice curveball there from Aldo Morales. Really great luxury to have when your fastball has a lot of movement, because
Yes.
you're not really giving in to the hitters.
Yep.
And if you're able to locate that fastball, hey, why use anything else?
I've always said that pitching is not about speed, it's just about hitting your spots. I've seen guys throwing 77, 78 and dominating the best hitters just because they hit their spots. So that's what I try to practice the most, just hitting my spots and knowing the type of hitters I'm going against. There's hitters that they're fastball killers but can't hit a curveball, so I just look at their swing and try to see.
Very good. Very, very good commentary there from Mario Morales, and that will do it. A strikeout there, and they'll complete the out, even though they don't have to, because with 2 outs. Well, actually, they do have to with 2 outs, and that will do it. So you're going to have to take the mound again.
Yep.
Thanks for coming in the
Thank
booth,
you. It was
Mario
a pleasure.
Morales.
Thanks
And,
a lot.
and
Thank you.
maybe you can come back again for
Yeah.
another inning.
Thank you.
All right, Mario Morales. Only in AUBL Miami can you get the starting pitcher, the current pitcher in the game, to come while his team is hitting. Boy, that was a great interview, Justin. I am so glad Mario Morales was able to come by, and we hope that Mario Morales can come back again.
And essentially, he's saying he's looking for his Serrano, his guy who can crush the fastball but can't hit the curve. So he's trying to identify the Serrano on each team, and he's going to go right after
let's
him with
make
the
sure our
curves.
audience knows who you're talking about here, Justin. That for those of you who've ever seen the franchise Major League, you'll remember the character Serrano who used to talk to his bat.
Jobu, his
And-
little idol as well.
And Serrano could not hit a curveball. He could hit a fastball 450 feet, but could not hit the curveball. So that is the reference that you just heard from Justin there. And he goes from our broadcast booth right to the mound. So Mario Morales back on the mound.
A quick turnaround for him. And Ulri Pena is going to lead off for Miami SS.
Yeah, the manager for Miami SS, Uli Pena, has been one of the mainstays in AUBL Miami. You know, Justin, for those of you, and the audience who doesn't know, when AUBL Miami first started in spring 2014, the first person ever to say yes to the league was Uli Pena. And I will always be grateful for that, because whenever you're starting something, you always have to, it always starts with one person. And I will always credit Uli Pena with helping with starting AUBL Miami. His first team that Uli brought in was the Miami Marlins, and that team featured Carlos Castillo. And if you remember, Carlos Castillo is the ex-major leaguer who has also played on other teams, and fastball in for a strike from Mario Morales.
One's left outside and low.
And we'll keep a close eye on Mario Morales' pitch selection, as he gave us a little insight as to what he's trying to accomplish out there. There it is again, that fastball. Oh, and he just missed with that one. I got to tell you, Justin, that looked identical to the pitch that was just called a strike, but Doug Geffner knows better than us. Doug Geffner, one of the top umpires in the history of AUBL Miami, and that one fouled back. So we will never question Doug Geffner. We may question other umpires, and we make, when we do our high school games and our college games, we are at times even critical of some of the umpires.
The guy who gave the fourth strike over there at Goldman.
Oh, I'll never forget that.
It happens.
The famous fourth strike.
Yeah.
Doug Geffner has been one of the top umpires in AUBL Miami since its inception in 2014. Again, going back to the history of the league, Doug Geffner has done many playoffs and championship games, and he has been right in the middle of everything for AUBL Miami. And that one went over the top of Uli Pena. At least he had enough time to see it and duck. And Morales told us curveball. So there's the curveball again that went in the hole at third base. And
that's going to get down for a hit.
Carlos Garrido at third base.
Now, are they going to rule that a hit?
That is an error.
Is it really?
Let me see. Yep, that'll go down as an
error.
Wow.
I'm surprised at that one. But
Garrido able to play a multiple positions. I was going to say a multitude
of positions.
But right now at third base,
this is Nick Silva. He flew out to center field.
Don't want to give extra outs. We were talking about how important it was for the Phillies defense to be locked down. And I'll tell you, Uli Pena is not going anywhere on Carlos Reyes this time, because he got shot down in the first inning.
Yes, he did.
So Uli Pena not with a huge lead at first base, and I guarantee you any pass ball, he's going to be very careful about taking the extra base, and Nick Silva swings through the curveball. Mario Morales has excellent, he has a really good way of hiding the baseball long enough so that you can't tell if it's a curveball or a fastball. When it comes out of his hand, it looks the same no matter which pitch he's throwing, and that's also critical. And you can see again, and here's the snap throw to first base, and gets back just in time.
Yeah, that's great for a pitcher to be able to have it come out of their hand. And it could be a multitude of different pitches, as we were just saying.
Is that our word for the day?
It could be. Hopefully not. Hopefully we're done with that. We'll try to move on from it as Nick Silva tries to continue this at bat here.
A lot of times we like the word plethora.
Yes.
I'll be happy to introduce that one again. Fastball swung on and missed. And time is called. It looked like Reyes may have taken a bat to the hand, the catcher.
Possible. There was something that
Doug
went on
Geffner
back
immediately called time, and you can see Reyes kind of shook his hand after, maybe on the follow through from Nick Silva.
Could
maybe
be the
he
follow
caught.
through.
Maybe he caught Reyes. Missed with that one inside. I think some of that was because of where Reyes had set up. I think if Reyes was set up on the inside part of the plate, maybe they get that call. Sometimes it's not just about where you pitch it, it's about how it's framed. And that one hit him! Oh boy. And Nick Silva takes a strong walk to first base, unhappy to be hit in the spleen.
It happens. I mean,
the liver?
And obviously
where
wasn't
was he hit?
intentional.
Do we have a doctor in the house to tell us where he was hit?
Yeah, no doctor, but he got plunked. Some words exchanged.
You gotta feel bad for Nick Silva. That's the needy area. You hate to get hit with a fastball in that.
Oh, he's coming
area.
back now.
So well, he has to. He's got a courtesy runner. So. Oh, and he says something out the side of his neck.
Yeah. He's still not happy, but.
Well, I think he's also unhappy that he doesn't get to hit. That's all he wanted to do is hit. And I know Nick very well, and he would never, actively do anything to another player, but you got to feel for him there.
Yeah, well, sometimes one of those shots in the side lingers. That pain, that stinging pain, lingers for a little while.
So just like last inning, Justin, first and second, no outs, and this time the meat of the order coming up. You've got Andy HIaleah and Adrian Fagin back to back here. Can Mario Morales get out of this? Pops up Andy HIaleah, and here's Reyes again, and it's Garrido. Garrido makes the catch, so there's one of the outs. That's a big bat. So they get one of the big bats out with a pop-up to Garrido at third base. And now it's going to be Adrian Fagin. Is this on?
Yeah. Should be.
In for a strike. And that's the one thing that Mario Morales has to do is get that first pitch over for a strike. It changes the entire at-bat, and that one almost got away.
Far from right over.
Good thing Reyes is 6'1". If he was 5'11", I don't know if he catches that. There's that curveball. What a pretty pitch, in for a strike, and it just tantalized you there as Adrian Fagin looking back at Doug Geffner and say, really? That really came back for a strike?
Yes, it did.
Of course, Adrian knows Doug very well. I know Adrian Fagin would never question Doug Geffner. I think they're just having some fun. Snap throw to first base. He's got to stay in front of that ball. Boy, that's a lot of trust to have in your first baseman, as Dicky Martinez is going to have a welt the same size as Nick Silva's on his stomach there as the catcher Reyes threw a one-hopper into Dicky Martinez's stomach. That's a real baseball guy right there that'll take one in the stomach, and a curveball swung by Fagin, and he struck him out. So after two base runners again, Mario Morales pitching out of trouble.
Tadaro.
And here's Mr. Broken Nose, Gio Todaro. Doug Geffner now taking a minute, going over towards the S&S dugout. I'm not sure what this is about. Now talking with assistant coach Mike Santana. Maybe a little housekeeping here. Now going to talk with Billy Abrams. So I'd like to know what's going on here. I wish I could share it with you folks at home. And now there's
something going on at second base
a
here,
little
Jay.
bit more going on. So I'll be back, Justin. I'll let you give this to the audience.
Okay. As both benches empty here. There's some bad blood brewing here. And first game of the season, guys. Let's take it easy. I think this will be a no harm, no foul situation when all is said and done, but apparently a few words exchanged at second, and neither player enjoyed those words. So I think all this will wind up being nothing in the end, but for some reason temper's flaring early. All right, so whatever that nonsense was, Oni Acosta is not having it. So he's going to settle his team down in the field. Okay, apparently some more warnings coming from the umpires.
The order has been restored, Justin. Just as we see in Major League Baseball. Same type of situation. You know, Mario Morales, the pitcher for the Phillies, when he hit Nick Silva, I think that there was a series of events in there, you know, little subtle series of events that could be taken one way or another and maybe were misunderstood. And both benches came out to say hello to each other, asked how the wife and kids were doing, and we're back to baseball. So, just like Leslie Nielsen said in Police Squad, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. And we are back to baseball. So it was all a whole lot about nothing.
And that's what I informed.
And that's my expert commentary. And Gio Todaro swings through that one.
Todaro, the last chance here now.
I'm sorry I don't have more for our fans at home, but there really was a whole lot about nothing. Fastball in for strike 3. He struck him out.
And again, Miami S&S just cannot come up with anything. They keep getting close, but Mario Morales is having none of it.
And I'm still not sure what's going on here. Looks like Doug Geffner now involved in a meeting with the Phillies.
No, that's not good. A fight's gonna break out. And the coach, number 14, just came out. By the way,
You can
and
talk
I
to
know
me.
those guys. I know half
Okay.
those guys.
Not-
But you know, that's gonna end up a fight. It's gonna fight, and you know what? That's not right.
All right, we're on the air.
That's
Thank
not
you.
right.
Thank you very much. Okay, so despite what Jay said, it seems there was something to see there, as both teams have now been repeatedly warned to keep this about baseball and nothing else. We'll see if hopefully that can happen, and we can get this game going again.
Now you can see the field. Yep, you have the shade. Well, then, Mama, so right there.
Wait, because I have to come with the rest of my bags.
All right, well, go take one. Go, Mama.
Mikey. No, this way.
Go around.
Right here.
So this is Simon Perez up at the plate. Now that we have our lineup straightened out for the Phillies. Popped out to second in the first, and this one's a little deeper. So that'll be a fly out to center. And now it's going to bring up number 25. I didn't get a first name, but this is Garrido. This was the mystery player that we had earlier. Nice pitch on the outside. Big swing. Couldn't catch up to that one. Aldo Morales apparently catching his spots. Oh, just missed on that curve.
Thanks, Mikey.
Yeah.
Let me know if you want to talk.
That one just misses on the outside as well. Oh, that one gets away as he misses low and outside. Aldo Morales.
You know, Justin, I think also, you know, all of that stuff we just saw, I think some of that is when you're in a tight game like we have here, where you're fighting and scratching and clawing to just get a run on the board. Big changeup. Look at that changeup from Aldo Morales. That's not even fair.
Yeah.
When you throw 90 miles an hour, you throw a changeup like that. But you know, when you're working so hard to score runs, it builds up the pressure.
That's a hit to second.
Pena up and over to first. Oh, and he threw it away, but
But he
Billy
got him.
Abrams said yes, he did.
They got him.
What was the other one? F8?
Yeah. And that was Garrido, our mystery guy,
Correct.
who was in the 6th spot. So here comes Chris Roy.
So, you know, because we have such an intense game going on, you know, the game of baseball has so many nuances to it. There's so many little things that can happen one way or another, a glance at somebody, an intent. This was the intent
Sure.
of this or that. And, you know, the complaint that Miami SNS had, and one of the reasons we got in that position is Mario Morales, the pitcher, had missed inside on a couple of other pitches that SNS is saying, look, you know, at what point is this a problem?
He's brushing us off the plate, and
Yeah,
then finally he hits us.
So, and also, you know, because Morales has shown a lot of control in other situations, and that's a hit to left field. So Chris Roy with 2 hits on the day, very impressive. He has hit
And
Aldo.
the only run.
He has hit Aldo Morales very well today. They better walk him next time he's up, because I'm telling you, Chris Roy doing some damage today. And now it's going to be his twin brother, Rich Roy, number 27, with 2 outs. And like we said, you know, when they first came up, and that one hit hard, but right at Uli Pena. So that will do it. No runs, still 1-0. We go to the top of the 5th inning, and this game all of a sudden cruising right along, Justin. You know, we were talking about how slow this game was going before, and now we are right back on schedule as we go to the top half of the 5th inning. And we are an hour and a half into this game, so we're right at about that 3-hour time limit. And it is 1-0 in favor of the Sandlot Phillies over Miami SNS. You are watching the South Florida Broadcast Network. This is AUBL Miami Baseball. So when you've got a situation where both teams are fighting so hard for those runs, and we've only had 1 run scored today between both teams in 5 innings. So I mean, that's a buildup of tension. That's a buildup of stress, and you know, the slightest thing can set that off. So that's why we saw what we saw, and I'll be right back.
Which is still a whole lot of nothing.
Outside 1-0.
Yep. Only Acosta coming in for a score. Oop. Score check from us there, so everyone well aware now that it's 1-0
Yeah,
for the
I'm really-
Sandlot Phillies.
Really glad we moved the table. That was a good decision. Well, what a game it's been so far, and for our first broadcast of the season. And what a great setting here, Justin, at HML HIaleah Miami Lakes High School, as the field is in great condition, as I'm sure you can see on your screen, folks. A tremendous condition here. The clay in great shape. Really great place to play. So Mario Morales now settles in for his 5th inning of work.
And this should be Josh Perez.
He has put up zeros, Justin, through the first 4 innings.
4 innings, yes he has.
Popped up. And once again, just keeping these S&S hitters off balance. So Perez flies out to center for the first out of the inning. And that'll be Ricky Alvarez.
Alvarez did single in the 3rd and made it to second on a stolen base. But that's as far as he was able to get.
And that's the first time Morales has recorded the first out of the inning in 3 innings.
So the question here is, do you walk Alvarez? As he's the only player with a hit for Miami SS so far.
No.
SNS.
The answer is a resounding no from everybody who heard you.
Is that right? Okay. If this one winds up on the Gratney, we'll revisit that.
Yes, we will. Curveball in. Just missed. Just missed. Boy, Justin, I don't know where that one missed, but
It just
that
missed
was
on
a
the
pretty
outside
pitch.
corner.
For my eye, that was a pretty pitch.
That one's
And
low.
I think Morales' psyche got damaged by that. I think he was expecting Doug Geffner to call that a strike, and when he didn't, I think there was such shock that he threw the next pitch in the dirt. The next 2 pitches in the dirt. So now it is 3. So Justin, to what you said, maybe he will walk him.
Well, he's the only one who's made any solid contact against Mario Morales
There's
today.
the fastball in for a strike. And just as we spoke with Mario Morales before, he let us know that he's throwing a 2-seam fastball today, which also is called a sinker. There it is again. And he's locating that pitch pretty well, and he's got pretty good movement on it. We are in the top of the 5th inning. Sandlot Phillies leading 1-0. And that one fouled straight back at us. Justin, I saw you flinch. I'm just saying, I saw you flinch.
I'm not flinching anymore. We got metal in front of us now.
I'm just saying, I saw you flinch.
It's not the mesh.
It's just like the fans when you're watching those major league games and you see the fans.
Well, with the mesh actually gives. Then I always flinch when we have mesh in front of us.
Fastball up high, ball 4.
There
So
you go.
there's the walk that you asked for.
I asked for nothing. I was just stating that he's the only one with a hit against Mario Morales so far today.
No, you asked for a walk.
All
Let's
right,
be
well,
clear.
all right.
Let's be clear here. I am not letting you out of that one. You asked him to walk him.
All right. I'm going to ask for a home run then.
So now it's going to be Emilio Medina, the catcher for the Miami S&S team.
He had a sac fly in the 3rd.
Hard to not call them the Storm when they're wearing Storm jerseys. That one hit in the hole. Oh, the ball is bobbled. Did they get the out at second base? No, they did
No, they
not.
did not.
So see what that goes down as. That'll go down as a hit. So Emilio Medina gets the 2nd hit of the game for Miami S&S.
There we go. 1 out, 2 on. That's going to bring up Mike Santana.
Wild card. You know, Santana's a wild card. You used to be the manager of the Miami Snipers. And Snipers, of course, went very deep into the playoffs last season, and it was very surprising when we found out the Snipers were going to merge with the Storm. But Santana had some big hits last season, so you can't sleep on Mike Santana. Fastball inside. And that's the thing with these righty batters, Justin. And this is the problem that S&S has with Mario Morales, is his fastball tails in. So if he misses at all, or if there's a little bit more rotation on that pitch, it finds its way further inside. And that's the complaint that S&S has had. Runners go and then come back,
Back.
and a snap throw from Reyes. But everybody's safe, so Ricky Alvarez was leaning to third base. This is a situation, Justin, if there were no outs, that Santana most assuredly would be bunting. But with one out, I think they're going to let him swing away here. Because he is a wild card, like we said, and he may put one down the left field line here.
Well, my question on that last play,
Or he might draw a walk.
When you do see the 2 runners going, why wouldn't the throw go to third?
Well, at that point, the throw, if they both had committed, it would have gone to third. But he threw to second because the runner at second did not commit to third. He made his way back, and Santana draws a walk. That's a huge walk right there, because you've got the number 10 hitter, which you really have to go after the number 10 hitter. And now you've got Ryan Herzon, who is 0 for 2 on the day, but also, like we said at the top of our show, one of the hardest outs in AUBL Miami.
And again, the bases loaded.
I would not want to be in the Phillies' position right now with bases loaded and Ryan Herzon up.
They've found themselves in the same position several times now.
That was a huge walk there. Mike Santana, with a good at-bat, drew the walk. Are they pulling him out of the game?
I don't think so.
Well, they put in a new player, which is, it looks like Angel Morales, to run for Mike Santana, so they might be replacing him. And we'll find out. I'm going to ask Uli Pena about that. Uli, is that a substitute? Uli, is that a substitution at first base? That was last ball out.
That one chipped just foul third base.
He's not in your lineup. It should be Josh Perez. Yeah, so we got that straightened out, Justin. It's Josh Perez that was the courtesy runner. Angel Morales comes off the field, low and outside for a ball. What do you got, Doug? 2-2.
Yep.
Count 2-2 to Ryan Herzon. Curveball popped up. Runners tag. Here's the play at the plate. Here's the throw. He's going to be safe easily.
Oh, yeah. So that go down as a sac fly for Herzon.
Yes, it will. And the game is tied. That is the second out of the inning. So that runner advancing to third, Justin, is not quite as imposing as it would be if that was the first out of the inning. But nonetheless, it is a run.
There you go,
on
Ricky
the board.
Alvarez, all the way around.
But it wasn't a home run.
No.
But Ricky Alvarez, just as you said, came into play. Emilio Medina took third.
Here's Uri.
And
wow.
Pena down the line, and it is just foul. Oh, he just missed that one. That would have put Miami SNS ahead.
Yes, it would have. Easily ahead. As they still have 2 on.
Curveball in the dirt. Big swing and a miss at that sinker, and you can see the good sinking action on that fastball, the two-seam fastball from Mario Morales. Pena couldn't catch up with that one. He threw that one a little harder, Justin, a little bit more mustard behind that one. Big situation here for SNS. Runner goes, and this is going to score another run. Miami SNS has taken the lead. Ryan Herzon scores the run on behalf of Emilio Medina, who had come out as a courtesy runner with 2 outs with the catcher, of course, Justin. And Miami SNS now leads 2-1. Big inning here for Miami SNS. Had not scored any runs for the first 4 innings. Fastball just missed. Count 3-2, 2 outs. Runner will not be going at second base because he's not forced.
No, he'll be going because there's 2 outs.
No, he won't.
That's it.
Only if you're forced. And that will do it. Because Justin, if he goes and the runner and the batter's walked, then he's out at third. If you throw to third, if you have a runner at second and no runner at first, and the runner goes,
right,
and the batter's walked, you're dead meat at third.
Maybe. That all depends on whether the catcher can gun it over there quick enough.
Right, but the old adage of baseball is you never make the first or the third out at third base. So why would you send a runner with 2 outs from second base?
Because 2's not going to do it. That's what I'm telling you right now. 2's not going to do it.
Okay.
For SNS.
Fair enough.
But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they are finally on the board, and that was 2 big runs for them.
Well, I was only answering your question, but 2 big runs on the board for Miami SNS, and they finally break through and not only put 1 run on the board to tie it, but they put 2 runs to take the lead, and now lead 2-1 over the Sandlot Phillies. And I'll tell you, the happiest guy in the building is Aldo Morales, because, boy, he had been doing everything he could to hold down that Sandlot Phillies attack, and now all of a sudden finds himself with the lead. Oof.
So Dicky Martinez is going to lead off the bottom of the 5th here for the Phillies. Just misses on the outside corner. Again, almost the identical pitch. That went in for a strike. Left up high. Count 3-1. That one's left low, and he walked him. So Dicky Martinez takes first. That's going to bring up David Rodriguez. Or has there been a change? There has, in fact, been a change. Okay. So David Rodriguez, not up. Okay, I can't read this guy's name at all.
So Isaac LaPau now, batter, as Dicky Martinez draws a walk, which is just what the doctor ordered for the Phillies, getting their first runner on. Game is all about momentum, and Miami S&S has clearly taken the momentum away from the Sandlot Phillies, and they're going to try and recapture that now. And really, Justin, the only way to do that is with a run. It's either a run or they're in that rut of not having the momentum. They really need to answer here.
Well, one on, nobody out.
Big swing at that changeup.
Good
Look
shot.
at that changeup.
That left him on his knees, crossed up at home plate there.
So this is the first at bat of the game for Isaac LaPau, hitting in the number 10B position. Foul tipped off the mask.
And comes right off the catcher's mask.
Medina seems okay. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sandlot Phillies trailing 2-1 as Miami S&S came up with 2 big runs in the top of the 5th inning.
This game is slowed to a crawl again.
Which seems to happen when runners get on for the Phillies. It looks like Aldo Morales intentionally slows the game down at that point. There's the fastball. In for strike 3. He
Caught
struck
him looking.
out.
Caught him looking.
He did a little dance back there, Justin. As the ball was clearly a strike. You wonder why.
This is not George Alvarez anymore either.
Correct. This is now Chris Perez. You wonder why they weren't bunting there, Justin. You got to kind of ask that question. You're at the bottom of your lineup. I think a bunt would have been in order. Fastball outside. So top of the lineup, Peter Baldrich on deck for the Phillies. That fastball in the inside corner for a strike.
Caught that one.
That little tail on his fastball caught him. It bought him a couple inches, about 3 or 4 inches back over the inside part of the plate. Curveball in for a strike. Almost like a slurve there, Justin, because he threw it with a curveball motion and it did move, but it was a little bit stronger, a little bit more speed on that, more like a slider. In the dirt, swing and miss, he struck him out. And the batter is out, so the bottom 2 batters both strike out for the Phillies, the A and the B slot.
Back up to the top with Baldrich.
And you know, you got to feel bad for David Rodriguez because here he's stuck in the 10A slot, had a base hit, which scored the only run of the game at that time, and doesn't even get his second at-bat.
Yeah, it happens when you have so many people show up.
Well,
what did Oni say? They had 22 or 24 or something today?
Correct, but the difference is by Oni Acosta using the A and B slot, he is restricting his movements that way. Whereas had he batted 11 without an A-B slot, this one grounded to Uli Pena, up and over to first, he's not going to make the play. So it'll go down as a hit as that ball was in the hole. So Baldrich gets a hit, now runners at first and second. Finishing that thought there, had Oni Acosta hit only 11 and not try to put 13 batters in 11 slots like he did, he could then have taken his B players and added them to the bottom later.
Right.
Or replaced a batter, like let's say, for example, Jorge Alvarez struck out in his first at-bat. You could have replaced him with Chris Perez and then replaced him with Isaac LaPau. And you still get all 3 batters Now there seems to be some confusion. And as soon as I look down, of course, all heck breaks loose.
Well, no, this looks like more confusion than anger.
No. I'm saying all heck
Not-
breaks loose in the sense that
Right.
something's going on that we don't know what
Slows
it
the
is.
game, yeah. And leaves us sitting here without knowing. But
Está dormido, chico, está viejo ya. Está viejo ya, está dormido. Yo sé, no estaba mirando. Estaba echando una siesta. No llamó tiempo ni nada de eso. Exacto.
So Larry Bravo now in the catbird seat as he comes up with 2 runners on and 2 outs, and will need to get to base any way he can and try and get Greg Rosario up. Greg Rosario intentionally walked in the first and then hit by a pitch in the third, has been on both times. So if they can load the bases, that'd be a pretty good position. Here's a snap throw to second base. He's going to be safe at second. So if Larry Bravo can somehow reach base, whether via the walk or the hit or whatever it is, Greg Rosario would come up with bases loaded, has not made an out yet, and has been on fire. So if they do give him a strike, he may make them pay with multiple runs. Big swing from Larry Bravo. Missed that one. Scrappy ball player is Larry Bravo. Popped up, out of play.
towards your car.
Watch my car.
That's about as close as it gets. I don't think that missed your car by more than a foot.
Well, it's already got 2 dents in it, so what's another dent? I already have the AUBL license plate. I might as well have the dents to go with it.
There you go.
You know, some people use that ball that looks like the cracked windshield. Mine
Yeah.
actually is real dents.
Right.
Up high.
And it's
So
bound
the
to get
count
more.
4 with 2 outs. The runners will be in motion here. But I'm telling you, if he doesn't throw a strike here, Justin, Bravo's not going to swing at it. Bravo will not give in to Aldo Morales here. Well, he didn't swing, and he paid for it.
Yes, he did.
It was strike 3. He struck him out. And that is unfortunate for the Phillies. Phillies go down with no runs in that inning. And as we said, that was a very important inning for them, Justin. We
Well,
go to the top of the 6th
importance
inning.
will be determined. You know, if obviously if Miami SNS puts up any more runs, yes, that was a missed opportunity. But if it stays status quo and they're still down 2-0 next time, or
2-1.
down 2-1 next time, it's not a huge wasted opportunity. Although, you know, I think the time is going to wind up running against them more than the innings.
Yeah, we still have about an hour and 10 minutes to play. So time is in play. It is a factor.
But SNS could really put it on them right now if they put up some more runs. They could really make it difficult for the Phillies to come back.
No doubt, no doubt.
So Nick Silva stepping up to the plate to lead it off for Miami S&S here.
And Justin, this is where all the fireworks started last time, as Nick Silva was hitting the belly, and I'm
Yes.
sure he's got a nice purple welt on his stomach to show for it. And that one
Wow.
hit hard but foul down the left field line.
I think we'll be okay as long as there's no hit by a
It
pitch.
almost
and
sounded
it's
like a
bat.
broken bat there. It didn't sound like the regular contact. That bat looks brand new. It looked like he literally just took it out of the wrapping. I don't see any marks on it. That would be a shame. Take a bat out of the wrapper and break it with the first pitch.
Yeah.
And there's an excuse me swing, and Silva won't even run this one out. 1 out. And you know he's got to be seething inside after getting hit in the stomach and then getting robbed of another at-bat. That's 2 at-bats in a row he's been basically robbed of.
Yep. So here comes HIaleah, I believe.
Yeah, Andy HIaleah has been a terror on AUBL Miami pitching. And that curveball came pretty close to him as well. You know, also the wind, when you have a lot of movement on your pitches, the wind sometimes will dictate where that ball's going to go as well. And because the wind is behind Mario Morales, it's going to affect his curveball because it's going to make it travel more and curve less. When the wind's in your face as a pitcher, in other words, when the wind is behind the batter, then your curveball will break more.
Mm-hmm.
But when the wind is behind you as a pitcher, it takes the ball on a path further than it ordinarily would go.
Well, this isn't technically behind him. This is coming out of the northwest here. But yeah, it will definitely affect the way it goes side to side with the ball because it's definitely blowing. Thank God for that, because it's another scorcher out here in South Florida.
In the dirt, he walks HIaleah on 4 pitches.
All right. So HIaleah takes first.
Adrian Fagin now.
And another guy who's 0 for 2, as is Gio.
And another guy
Tadaro.
who's terrorized AUBL Miami pitchers.
Yeah, if he gets a hold of it, somebody on the Grattan's getting a souvenir.
And maybe a dent like the one I have. And he broke his bat.
He cracked that one over to second.
Second for 1, back to first. And he wasn't ready for it.
Was not. So
Fagin will be awarded second base.
on the overthrow.
Correct. Two outs in the inning, and Fagin will be at second base.
There comes Tadaro
Don't let his
again.
big size fool you, folks. He can run. Fagin used to play for my team, the Dade Diamondbacks, and I would try to give him a courtesy runner, and he would have fits and basically tell me, look, do not give me a courtesy runner. Look at that curveball in for a strike. And he would talk me out of it, and I would let him run, and I'm glad I did. He also played outfield for me and made tremendous plays in the outfield. There's the fastball in for a strike. Poor Gio Tadaro's come in, and Mario Morales has painted both corners. He paints the inside lower corner and the outside upper corner with his first 2 pitches, as you can see on the Fox tracks.
Oh.
Did he go? No, he did not. Unfortunately, folks, we are still months, if not years, away from having a Fox tracks on our screen, so we apologize for that. There's that curveball, low for a ball. Fastball missed up and in, so the count full 3-2. And again, Justin, the runner, will not be going because he is not forced, even though it is 3-2 with 2 outs.
Yeah, he'd have a tough time going over there anyway. But
That
that's
one
a
hit
nice
hard
shot.
by Tadaro.
That's fair,
And
no?
it is a foul ball. Doug
Wow.
Geffner with his hand straight up.
Mm.
Had Geffner been pointing into fair territory, it would have been a fair ball. But his hand going straight up means foul.
I was just watching the actual ground itself that it hit.
Well, I was looking right at home plate umpire Doug Geffner, and you could see immediately he had put his hand up for a foul ball.
Nice contact made by Gio.
And that one again pounded into the ground foul. And you can see the theme here with that 2-seam fastball is the Miami SNS players are all hitting the ball into the ground because of that downward movement on all of his pitches, whether it's his curveball or his sinker or whatever he's throwing. Just missed with that one. Must have missed high because it was right down the middle.
Tadaro takes first.
So first and second now. And it's going to be
2 outs. Josh Perez.
Josh Perez. Josh was one of the few hits in the game for Miami SNS. Had a single back in the third. This game again slowing down to a crawl.
Yeah. Clock is going to be against both teams here.
Well, right now it's only against the team that's losing. But you're actually right in the sense that it is against both teams, because if the Phillies put up a run or two, then it's back against SNS again. So, it's not like SNS can just kill the clock here. It's this isn't a four corners basketball approach by SNS at all, because if they do try to bleed the clock here, they could pay for it later. So both teams have to play this game as if there's no clock. Popped up, coming right at us. And right behind us.
Behind us, yep.
Fastball popped up. Foul territory, coming over and coming back in fair territory. No, it was not.
No.
It was still a foul ball. Unbelievable.
Wow. That was close.
The left
Very
fielder
close.
was drifting over.
We don't have positions.
Yeah, we do, folks. The left fielder was drifting over. And that was Chris Roy. Chris Roy was drifting over into foul territory. The ball came back towards fair territory with the wind, and Chris Roy actually overran the ball. It looked like it was going back into fair play. It looked like it was going back into fair play, Justin, but I guess did not come back far enough. And because Chris Roy had gone so far out of play.
It's not Chris Roy out there. But yes, the left fielder went too far. And then the wind brought it back in, and it actually made it so that he had to try to catch it backwards over his head.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I believe that is not Chris Roy. I believe that is Isaac LaPaul as a substitute for Chris Roy, who was out there earlier.
That sounds right.
And that one popped up. So after all the ground outs, it is all pop-ups all the time.
Third baseman into the dugout there to make the play, but ball lands on top of the dugout.
Yeah, Carlos Garrido went over because he had just seen LaPaul overrun the ball,
Right.
so he figured
thought maybe it would swing back
that
a little
ball
bit.
would come
Sure,
back in.
but we're not getting the same wind gust at the moment that we were
That's true.
with that fly out in left field.
No,
there.
you're right. The gusts died down. It was at about 15, 17 miles an hour, and it went to about 3. So one thing about the weather in Miami is it is constantly changing.
And now we're getting the wind again.
in the dirt.
Josh Perez
Morales
fighting
has to
through
be
this.
careful here. You don't want to. You don't want to give him anything good to hit, but you also don't want to walk him. You've got Josh Perez on deck, who has hit the ball well, even though he hasn't gotten a hit yet.
Well, this is Josh Perez now. We got Ricky Alvarez on deck.
Excuse me,
I believe.
I apologize. Ricky Alvarez is on deck, who also has hit the ball very well, single on a walk.
Yes, he has.
Big swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that will do it.
Yep.
So all of that is for naught. S&S do not score any runs. They leave 2 base runners stranded.
Still 2-1, Jay.
We go
anybody's game
to the bottom of the 6th inning. Score 2-1. Sandlot Phillies trailing Miami S&S. You are watching the AUBL Miami Baseball League on South Florida Broadcast Network. And we have a new pitcher. It looks like Scotty Berman is going to take over for S&S. And Justin, of course, our listeners and our viewers are very familiar with Scotty Berman because he gave us about 4 innings of excellent commentary 2 months ago. This is a double-edged sword for Miami S&S, Justin, because you had Aldo Morales pitching a great game.
Yes, he was.
And I guarantee you, he was telling Uli Pena, I got more in me. So this is not a situation where Pena took him out for performance or took him out due to tiredness.
No.
This is plain and simply a substitution because you have 3 pitchers that all came to pitch. And Scotty Berman and Angel Morales are both here, and Angel Morales does play outfield and does hit sometimes, so at times you will see, like we're seeing today, Aldo Morales and then Scotty Berman pitch, but what you don't want as a team in any league is you don't want pitchers to show up and not pitch, because that eventually the pitcher's going to say, you know what, I'd rather do something else with my Sunday.
Right.
You know, than show up, warm up, and not pitch. So you have to get Scotty Berman in this game. Besides, Scotty Berman's been a great pitcher. So it's not like you're replacing a great pitcher for a mediocre pitcher. Scotty Berman has had plenty of success in AUBL Miami, so this is not necessarily a drop-off for Miami S&S. But, again, you did have a hot pitcher out there. Not just hot being that it's 97 degrees. You had a hot pitcher throwing strikes and mixing his pitches.
On the pine now, and this is Greg Rosario. Greg's reached first twice.
Rosario was almost in a position to put this game back on the side of the Phillies as Larry Bravo took that strike 3. Had Larry Bravo taken that pitch and it was ball 4, 3-2 with 2 outs. If it was ball 4, we would have been looking at bases loaded with Rosario coming to bat. Scotty Berman has come in and thrown nothing but balls. Again, when you're a new pitcher, sometimes it takes a while to get familiar with the mound and get yourself acclimated into the game. That went in for a strike. Phillies sporting beautiful uniforms, matching jerseys and pants, matching helmets and hats. Beautiful looking uniforms from the Phillies. Of course, the Storm also with tremendous uniforms. That neon green, you can't miss them. And that one almost hit him, and it'll be ball 4. So Rosario again.
First again, 3 times today.
He had the intentional base on balls, which is a UIBB in my scorebook. He had the hit batter back in the 3rd inning, and now an actual base on balls in the 5th. So
The 6th.
excuse me, to
Yes.
6. All possible ways to reach first without hitting a baseball.
Right.
And Greg Rosario has done all of them today. Up high for a ball. Scotty Berman struggling to throw a strike here, as that was not a problem that Aldo Morales had. It is now Carlos Reyes, the catcher, lined out to the second baseman in the first inning, struck out in the third. And that one left up high for a ball. And now Scotty Berman even going over his mechanics a little bit. You can see him looking at his arm slot, trying to practice it. And here is someone who teaches others how to pitch, so he better know how to pitch himself, Justin.
Checks
I'm
Rosario at
sure some
first.
of those Homestead High players are watching this right now, very interested to see how their coach will put it into action. Berman checks the runner at first, back in time. Rosario, we know Rosario has speed, coming right at our broadcast position and right over it. And Justin, we know Rosario has speed through process of association, because you can't play for Coach Danny Price
If you're not fast.
unless you're not fast. So we know even Danny Price's catchers and first basemen steal bases. So if you're playing on Danny Price's team, we know you know how to run bases. And we know that Rosario is not going to be intimidated by any pitcher or catcher. And he may be off with the pitcher. Got a good situation here for the Phillies. Rosario at first and Reyes at the plate. Another throw to first. And we saw this in the first inning when Aldo Morales threw the ball away, trying to pick off a runner at first. That one popped up, out of play. One coming, Doug. Thank you. Count 2-2 to the catcher, Carlos Reyes. Curveball, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Big strikeout there from Scotty Berman. Huge strikeout there, Justin. Big situation there for the Phillies. And a situation they would not bunt in, because Reyes, being one of their top hitters, their number 4 hitter, you're not going to bunt with your number 4 hitter. And that one almost hit him. Curveball did not get back towards home plate.
This is Simon Perez. He's flown out twice to second and center today.
Well, with a new pitcher in there, everything has changed now. So
Right.
that one hit hard to left field, going back, and he makes the catch. He covered a lot of ground.
This will bring
out
up
there.
Garrido again, I believe.
Yes.
Don't have Garrido's first name.
Carlos.
Carlos.
The
All
left
right.
fielder, a left-handed player, covered a lot of ground out there, and we'll find out who the left-handed left fielder was. But he covered about 40 yards there. Throw to first, back in time. Runner goes, and he'll get in there safely.
Yeah, easy. So Rosario will make his way over to second with a standing stone base. And again, sometimes better to let the runner have it than to take the possibility
Well,
of
once he had
overthrowing
dropped it,
second.
Justin, that was it. You know, once Medina had dropped it, he knew there was no chance of getting Rosario.
And if he makes that throw to second and it doesn't go well, you might see Rosario over at third.
And
Ooh.
again, another curveball inside. Berman having the same problem that Mario Morales was having for the Phillies, which is that right-handed curveball to the right-handed players is not breaking enough because the wind is behind him. Popped up, out of play. On deck, the first of the two Roy brothers, Chris. In for strike 3. He struck him out, and that will do it. Phillies not happy with that strike 3 call.
But is what it is.
Change the battery. See it blinking?
Yep.
Because I haven't charged them.
New pitcher.
Yeah, you got any more than that for us? So we just call him NP?
Yep.
His name's Marco Ruiz.
Marco Ruiz. All right.
Well, we have numbers on the thing. We can figure it out.
I have better than numbers. I don't need no numbers.
Better than numbers?
Yeah,
Is there even such a thing?
there is. His fans are sitting right here.
Oh,
So it's
that is-
Marco Ruiz.
That is better. So Marco Ruiz will take over, and Mario Morales' day is done. Which, to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised, Justin, because, like I said, he did pitch 9 in his debut against the Dade Diamondbacks. So I was actually expecting him to go pretty deep into this game. Did not expect him to
Here
come
comes
out.
Oni. He has some kind of issue. Looks like.
Didn't expect him to
out.
come out after only 6 innings of work.
Hey, you got his name right? He reported to you?
Marco Ruiz. We got him.
Unlucky call there.
Oni Acosta running for office as he called it an unlucky call. I think most managers would have been more colorful in their assessment.
Not on a broadcast.
Oni wearing a lot of hats here as he knows he's part of our broadcast team and doesn't want to upset the apple cart, as it were. And we respect him greatly for that.
They're still looking for that tying run.
The Phillies have looked like changed a number of players, as I'm seeing a few people I have not seen at different positions. The shortstop looks like a new player. The first baseman looks like one of the Roys. So several substitutions. We'll try to keep up with all of them for you folks. Carlos Garrido still at third base. Still 2-1, folks. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Justin, there's only 39 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, we're not going to make it through unless we get some 1, 2, 3 inning, on both sides. I don't think we're going to get through the 9th.
Well, unless it starts moving quickly, we might not even get through 8. Fastball in for a strike. So Marco Ruiz, the new pitcher for the Sandlot Phillies. And now it looks like the Phillies are changing
They are.
their outfielders. They're moving their left fielder to right and their right fielder to left in the middle of an at-bat. Always odd to see that.
But change is made and play will continue.
Ricky Alvarez has reached both times and scored on one of them. Singled in the 3rd, walked and scored in the 5th. That fastball left up high for a ball. Alvarez playing shortstop today. Curveball way outside for a ball. You know, Justin, I don't know that we've seen more than 3 or 4 curveballs land for a strike today from any pitcher.
Very true. From all combined, yes.
Yeah, from all 4 pitchers.
That is correct.
I think it's just one of those days, and that's hit sharply to left field, but right at the left fielder, and that is 1 out in the inning.
Should bring up Emilio Medina.
Ball was hit well, but right at the left fielder, and there's now 1 out for Emilio Medina, who comes up in the number 9 slot, catching today for Miami S&S. He's had a good day behind the plate.
Yeah, sac fly and a single, came around to score on a wild pitch. So he's accounted for one of their 2 runs.
Also a good day at the plate. I was actually saying behind the plate as a catcher. And that one popped straight in the air, and Marco Ruiz makes the catch. He was the only one actually who could have made that catch. Sometimes the pitcher will defer to their fielders, but I think Ruiz did the right thing there by stepping in and making that catch. I think that ball would have dropped otherwise. I actually had that happen to me last week. I was pitching against FIU Club. Ball was hit about 5 feet to my left, way up in the air. And instead of me going and catching it, I deferred, and my first and second baseman promptly ran into each other, and the ball dropped. And that one pounded into the ground. It's going to be a hard play. Up and over first for Garrido! And he got him. Carlos Garrido gets Mike Santana with a nice play. And there's a quick 1-2-3 inning for you, Justin. So
yes, it is.
3 up and 3 down.
Well, it's a half. We need the other half here to move as quickly as that did.
3 up and 3 down for Miami S&S, and we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Score still 2-1. We now have 35 minutes left, and we'll keep one eye on the game and one eye on the clock for you folks at home.
So just for clarification purposes, if we get to 3 hours and we have not begun the 9th inning, it will not begin, correct?
Yeah, so and a good question, Justin. So for our fans out there, we'll refresh that rule. No inning in AUBL Miami can start after 3 hours have been completed. So if you're in the 6th inning, and let's say you're in the bottom of the 6th inning and the 3 hours have commenced, there will be no 7th inning. If you're in the top half, still the same thing. So whatever part of the inning you're in,
correct.
Once 3 hours commence, you may not start another inning.
Correct. So we got to get that first batter.
But the bottom half always has to happen.
Correct.
Unless the home team, of course, is winning. If the home team is winning, the game is then end.
Right. But we have to get that first batter of the top of the 9th in order to have a 9th inning.
No, what you need is the last out of the 8th inning to happen before 3 hours.
Before 3 hours, okay. And I'm not sure we're going to make that.
Well, if it keeps going like the last half of inning,
yeah,
then
no, we got an inning and a half still to get there. Depending on how quickly these move and if anybody's making contact.
Well, also, you may find that the team that wants the clock to move might be the team that wants the clock to stop, because if the Phillies put up a run or two here, Miami S&S might not be so happy to run the clock at that point.
Right.
So you got to be careful. You got to be careful as the winning team or the team that's ahead in the game. That one on the inside part of the plate for a strike. So here's the first of the 2 Roy brothers. Chris, 2 for 2 on the day. Singled and scored in the first. Singled in the second. Singled in the fourth.
Back.
And now the second of the Roy brothers, Richard, into your screen. So you are not seeing double. Those are both Roy twins in your screen. Oni Acosta has a helmet on at the third base, up and over to first. A nice play over there. Oni Acosta has a helmet, so that tells me
Okay.
you might want to hit for someone else. He's the only one with an RBI. Boy, poor David Rodriguez can't catch a break. First he's in the AB slot, and now Oni Acosta's going to hit for him, and he's shrugging his shoulders in the dugout, saying, "What else do I have to do? I got a RBI single, which accounted for the only run.
Right, the only run.
2 outs in the inning.
Oof. So how'd you score that one?
1-3. Check swing to the pitcher.
So there's Dicky Martinez.
Martinez walked in his last at-bat. Grounded to short in his first at-bat in the second.
And should he somehow make it to base, we will see Oni Acosta.
I'll tell you, the Phillies are in a little trouble here, Justin.
Yes, they are.
Big sweeping curveball, left up high for a ball, and we now see Oni Acosta swinging bats, getting ready to come into this game. And even though he wasn't in the starting batting lineup, Oni Acosta, always a tough out. And that's one of the things you sometimes give up as a manager, is you give up your own playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you have a good team like Oni Acosta does. He's put together an excellent team here and knows that the only way he's going to get in the game is later as a substitute, just like what I do with the Dade Diamondbacks. I've got a good team, and I have to forego some of my at-bats, even though sometimes I'm hitting better than some of my own players. There's a fastball for a strike. That one fouled straight back. Martinez was a little late with that one. That one almost hit him.
Either way, he walked him, so we will see Oni.
So 2 walks on the day for Dicky Martinez. A couple of scrappy at-bats for him. And now the left-handed manager, Oni Acosta, will now come take his hacks as a substitute player. Substitute, Doug. Substitute. Sub it. I was telling him, but I think Doug already knew. That one way outside and high for a ball, and Scotty Berman wants a new baseball after that one. Who can blame him? Oni Acosta wagging that bat in front of Scotty Berman as if to say, I'm going to hit it right back up the middle. And he does hit it right back up the middle, but not very hard and not very far. And Uli Pena will make the catch. So an innocuous inning for the Phillies. Phillies go down with no runs. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Miami S&S continuing to lead the Sandlot Phillies 2-1. You're watching AUBL Miami Baseball on the South Florida Broadcast Network. Phillies not moving very fast, Justin. I was expecting this inning in particular that the Phillies would get on the field and get play started. There's only 28 minutes left to get this entire inning completed. And from what we've seen in this game, that is not a foregone conclusion.
No, it is not.
It'll be the top of the order for SNS. Ryan Herzon, Willie Pena, Nick Silva will be the first three batters. It's going to be critical for the Phillies to hold the top of the lineup here to no runs.
Very true.
So Ryan Herzon will step in and face Marco Ruiz to lead off the top of the 8th inning. We have 26 minutes left in this game. And he drags a bunt. This is a beauty, Justin. But he is out. Nice footwork there from Marco Ruiz.
Yep. Chased
We'll
him down.
Go 1-3. I think Herzon would have been better suited if he's going to bunt down the third base line.
Mm-hmm.
Much easier play dragging it down the first base line like that. You really have to get it by the pitcher in order for it to be an effective bunt at that point. If the pitcher fields it, it's really hard for the batter to be safe at first at that point. Willie Pena, the manager now, comes to hit for SNS. Fastball in for a strike. Good movement on that fastball. Again, another good fastball. Ruiz starting to find his groove on the mound. Now we see why Oni Acosta has confidence in Ruiz coming in behind Mario Morales. I had not seen Ruiz pitch up until today.
Mm-hmm. Someone to watch.
Curveball low for a ball.
Missed.
Count full. Big swing and a miss. He struck him out. Big strikeout.
Out.
And now it's going to be Nick Silva. Again, we've got one eye on the clock here. Still 24 minutes to go. Remember, the Phillies must record their third out before the clock expires. That one low for a ball. Inside, and that's where Nick Silva got hit in the breadbasket earlier. He was probably having flashbacks to his other at-bat. And probably still feeling the pain of that first one. That fastball in for a strike. Because when you get hit in the stomach like that, Justin, oh boy. That's a pain you're going to feel for at least a week to 10 days. Big swing at that curveball. Nice pitch from Ruiz there. Curveball in the dirt. Making the catcher work there as Carlos Reyes has been fighting off these curveballs in the dirt. Count full with 2 outs. That one hit hard. It's going to be a base hit into left field, so Nick Silva finally gets a hit today. He flied out to center in the first inning. He was hit by a pitch in the 4th. He had grounded out to second in the 6th inning and now gets a base hit in the 8th. He'll come out for a courtesy runner. Uli Pena will gladly oblige. I don't think you'll see him off here. I think Pena wants to let those big bats of the lineup do their thing here, Justin, as Pena, of course, was gunned down earlier in the game, which also definitely hurts your confidence as a base runner.
Yeah, he was gunned down, but then again, he was gunned down on third, and I would say the catcher's better at hitting second
Snap throw
than
to
third.
first.
So I think he was gunned down at the easier
Sure,
base for him to take.
absolutely.
which
No,
would
no,
have been
there's
third.
there's no
Yeah.
doubt that third base is a shorter distance to throw for a catcher, but it was also on a scramble play where it wasn't a straight steal. The ball had gotten away from Reyes, and Reyes, with excellent footwork, was able to get the ball and release the ball quick enough to get Pena at third. Fastball low. And like we said before, Andy HIaleah has been terrorizing pitchers in AUBL Miami over the last couple of years. Low again. Beautiful day here at HIaleah Miami Lakes High School. Big swing of that changeup. Big swing at that one. 2-2 now, the count to HIaleah. Twos are wild. 2-2, 2 outs and 2 runs for Miami SNS. 1 run for the Sandlot Phillies. Setting up in the outside part of the plate.
Runner
goes,
goes.
and he will
He'll
make
make
it
that.
easily to second base. And now a runner in scoring position for Andy HIaleah. Any base hit may very well score Uli Pena here. Phillies body language not good right now, Justin. They're only down 1 run.
Yeah, but they've been down 1 run for the last couple of innings
Yeah,
here.
but their body language, you would think they're down by 7 or 8 runs. Curveball, pounded it to the ground, foul.
I think they know they're running out of chances.
Well, they're going to have 1 more, and they may very well
Possibly
have 2
2.
more. Outside, ball 4.
Walked him. So HIaleah takes first. And that brings Fajin back to the plate.
I do not have any this minute. I'll let you know. Thanks. Well, Justin, either way, I think we're going to get 9 innings because either the Phillies are going to go down quickly, or if they don't go down quickly, then they'll go ahead. So one way or the other, I think the Phillies are okay here.
Unless they just tie. In the event of a tie, it's over, correct? There's
Correct.
no penalty kicks, no nothing?
Yeah.
It's just,
Oh, that
wow.
one's hit hard to center field.
It's going to get down.
What's going to happen here?
That's going to score a run.
Oh, wow. S&S is going to
It's
go
a nice
up
throw,
3
but
to
it's
1.
off a little bit.
Adrian Fagin with an RBI base hit to center field. And like we said, Justin, he doesn't just hit for power. A smooth line drive from Adrian Fagin for a base hit. And Miami S&S now leads 3 to 1. So it's going to make that mountain a little higher for the Phillies to climb here.
Gio Todaro.
If we thought their body language not so great at 2 to 1, at 3 to 1, it's going to get even worse.
Well, we'll see if Ruiz can settle down.
That one popped up out of
Take
play.
care of Todaro.
Guys, I need baseball.
Gio Todaro is 0 for 2 with a walk today. Grounded to short in the second, struck out in the fourth, and walked in the sixth. A lot of pitches in the dirt from Ruiz, Justin. It seems like he's having a hard time either with his mechanics or the mound or maybe both. But his curveball has been very hard for him to locate. And it seems like it's his curveball that's been in the dirt, and that one popped up also out of play. Baseball's coming in. You can throw it in.
Thank you.
Our fans doing a good job of retrieving baseballs, and we appreciate it. 1 run is in here in the top of the 8th inning. Still 2 runners on for Miami S&S. Curveball hit to right field. This is going to get down for a hit.
That's
Oh
another
boy,
run.
this is going to be trouble.
Maybe 2.
1 run will score. Adrian Fagin
Fagin,
coming
look at
around
him
third base. Here comes Adrian Fagin. Here comes the play at third base, and Fagin will score, and he's going to be safe at third.
Wow.
2 runs will score. Gio Todaro
That was a
with
triple.
a 2 RBI triple. Adrian Fagin chugging all the way from first base. 3 runs have scored in the inning. 2 runs score on the triple from Gio Todaro, which goes all the way to the fence in right center field. What a striking blow.
Yeah, I think the Phillies are out of it now. They could not afford to
seem
give
to
up these
be-
runs right here.
The Phillies seem to be questioning whether the runner made it to third, or I don't know what they're questioning here.
Well, he made it
I
to
can't-
third. I watched him.
Well, they just did an appeal play, and now they're going to do an actual appeal play. Safe at third. Oh, you know what it is, Justin? I bet they're questioning whether he touched third on his way home. Maybe Fagin, because he was chugging so hard, maybe they just assumed he missed the base.
Yeah.
Is the only thing I can think of.
Well, regardless, the run stands.
Boy, was he coming. I'll tell you, no linebackers getting in the way of that. So 3 runs have scored here in the top of the 8th inning for Miami S&S. It was a 2 to 1 game coming into the inning, and it is now a 5 to 1 game. The Sandlot Phillies fighting 2 opponents right now because they are also fighting the clock. There is only 12 minutes to go, and Miami S&S is still hitting here in the top of the 8th. Popped up out of play. And if they can't get this third out, pretty soon they may find themselves with only 8 innings playing today.
It's quite possible, unless it speeds
And
up.
that's the last thing they need, because right
Right.
now they're down 4 runs.
Right.
They're going to need all 9 innings. Especially since they have the bottom of their order coming up.
It's another one foul back
Not
there.
the bottom. They have the last. They actually have the top of the order coming up. The last hitter and then the top of the order. We have seen more foul balls out of play today than I think we've seen in any game we've done, Justin.
No. Second most for sure. No, then remember that Miami-Dade game that we did? There must have been 45 foul balls in that game.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, for reminding me. Yep.
But yeah, second most today.
Yeah, I actually had to go get like 5 of them myself in that game.
Yeah, that game was insane. Every batter was fouling off 2-3 at a time.
But when you have Yusniel Padron pitching, that's about all you can do is foul the ball off. Popped up. Is this coming at us? Right behind us.
Right out there. Yeah, we are out of baseballs at the moment.
Count 2-2. Popped up, out of play. Oh boy.
Okay, we're out of baseball.
And now
again.
Doug Geffner has to wait every single time. This is bad for the Phillies.
Yes, it is. This is going to kill the Phillies.
Every time a ball gets fouled off, we have a delay of the game. And here comes a ball in. Boy, I tell you, the Phillies are not moving quick enough here, Justin. They got to remember they're on the clock.
Yeah, they're out. They're not going to make the ninth. They're not going to make the ninth. No way.
10 minutes remain.
Yeah, and they still have to get their bats in the 8th, so there's no way. These stoppages are not doing them any favors.
They're not helping their cause with all these low pitches either. Gio Tadaro has knocked the wind right out of these Philly players.
Yes, he has.
It's cued over to the right side, up and over to first, and that will do it. So the Phillies now with one more chance, maybe 2, but we know at least they're going to have one more.
Unless they go down quickly.
3 big runs from Miami S&S. Miami S&S now leading 5-1. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. You are watching the South Florida Broadcast Network. This is AUBL Miami Baseball. Scores now coming in. The Nationals win 8-0 today. Big win for them.
5-1.
5-1, bottom 8. What are we on time?
Not good.
Your guys
You got to get going now.
It's 8 minutes. Your guys are not moving quick enough, and you're not. You could have gotten easily an extra 5 or 7 minutes.
That's why I went out to the second base.
Yeah, you're not going to make it to the 9th.
So manager Oni Acosta here in the dugout with us. Oni, since you're here, I'll give you a microphone, at least even if it's only for 20 seconds. You want to give us any insight?
Well, like I say, we had a couple of calls not go our way that should have gone our way that kind of hurt us, but I'm not going to put the blame on the umps.
No, I think
we haven't put a pep in our step in the last couple of innings. we left our hearts in the dugout. You know, we got to bring it out on the field with us and then play like we want to win. And
I don't think this was an umpire thing today. I think that, you were in a dogfight, a 2-1 game, which could have went either way. And I think Gio Tadaro basically took the starch out of you guys with that triple, that 2-run triple. I think just really took a lot of the fight out of your team there.
yeah, that dropped some heads in the dugout for sure. And and unfortunately, it's hard when when you're this far into the game with only possibly one more opportunity. It's hard to get the heads back up and go out there and do it. But as a
Larry
coach,
Bravo coming into the broadcast booth.
for you, yeah. Julio, tell Julio to hit for you. Julio, he's in the dugout. He's gonna hit for you. Yeah.
And this is a pitching change as well, Jay.
Angel Morales now in.
You can take, make a substitution, take Larry out of the lineup, and put Julio Perez. Jay, I want to get back to the dugout, see if I can pump up my team.
Thanks for coming by, Oni.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
All right, so who was coming out?
Larry Bravo.
So George Alvarez is up at the plate. To lead off the 8th for the Phillies. Oh, that one comes right back at us, and there goes your battery. And yep, battery's now on the field.
Can you hand me that?
The what?
This?
Yeah. Big swing and miss. He struck him out.
Yeah, and you
That's
could see
one
there
down.
the Angel Morales, just like his brother Aldo, throws the same 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. The good news here is by making a quick out, at least they might have half a chance of playing a 9th inning.
Okay, so this is the substitution.
Yes.
Lefty. Number 14 is in for Perez. I heard him say Julio. We got one name. Where is this?
Fastball in for a strike. That's a pretty pitch right there.
Garbage.
Phillies could be down to their final outs here as there's only 2.5 minutes left in the game. Every pitch that goes by here is bad news for the Phillies right now.
Here we go, Perez. Okay.
Julio's coming in for Larry.
3 minutes.
For Larry.
Larry Bravo.
Well, doesn't matter. This is over anyway. You can do
Pound
what you
into the
want.
ground. It's going to be a hard play.
It's going to be too little, too late for
Pena
the
up
Phillies.
to first, and
He
it
got
goes
him.
up the line, but he still got him. Julio Perez coming in for Larry Bravo. Phillies could be down to their final out. You know what they could do here, Justin, to try to get that 9th inning in is just Oh, Emilio Medina going out for an untimely mound visit. If you're a Phillies fan here.
That's probably
this
gonna
is
do it.
this is terrible.
What do they have? Like 2 minutes?
Yeah, this is terrible for the Phillies. They are under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It is 12:58 right now.
Yeah.
Only Doug Geffner knows how much time is actually left. We can ask Doug. Doug, how much time?
9 minutes.
Oh,
9
and there we go.
Okay.
So we now have the official time, as we are not keeping the official time here. So Doug Geffner has told us it is
plenty of
9
time.
minutes, which is plenty of time for the Phillies. So the Phillies are going to get their
Unless they put up a few hits here.
yeah, well, which could be disastrous.
Right. Right. They could get
That one
themselves.
gets away.
On deck.
S&S pulling every trick in the book here to try to get time to pass.
Thank you.
Oh, and now the center fielder is tying his shoes, Justin. We have seen everything now. We have now seen every possible time ploy.
Oh, wait. Now the ump's taking a little time.
We may see Doug Geffner do something we've never seen, and that's actually stop the clock. And that one gets away. So he's now swung at 2 pitches that have made their way to the backstop. Throwing up a peace sign. That was
Make
Greg
sure
Rosario.
he gets on screen for a little bit.
Well, we know Greg Rosario's got fans watching today.
Another one down near the dirt. He's swinging anyway.
And maybe the most important fan he has might be watching today, which is Coach Danny Price from Miami-Dade College. And we hope you're watching, Coach Price, and we appreciate it if you are. And I'm sure Greg Rosario appreciates it as well.
Another one
Scrappy
down
at bat here, I'll tell you. For a substitute hitter facing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, he's acquitting himself very well. A 5-1 game here, folks. Miami S&S leading the Sandlot Phillies. Big swing and a miss at a curveball in the dirt. He struck him out, and now to complete the out, Emilio Medina! What a scoop at first base. That is about the 4th scoop we've seen at first base. And that will do it for the Phillies. They still got time, so the Phillies thought the game was over. Oni Acosta imploring his team to hustle out. As it is 101, but Doug Geffner.
We started a little bit after.
And it was for the broadcast. That was the
right.
That was the extra time.
So should they come back, Oni's going to have to buy us dinner then, because that'll mean that it was our taking a little extra time that gave him a little extra time.
But that's not true, because had we not taken the extra time, they would have already had the extra time.
Right, but the game would be over.
No, it wouldn't.
Had we started exactly at 10 o'clock, the game would be over.
Right. The game would be over now, but the game would be further along now. So they still would have got the 9 innings.
No. I hope nobody laid any big bets on the Phillies today, because I don't think they're going to be able to come back. You never know, though. I mean, we've seen crazier things.
Well, I hope
4
not.
runs.
I hope not, just for the simple fact that there's no betting allowed on AUPL Miami. So even for that reason,
all the laws are now changing.
If anyone placed any bets on the Phillies, they got bigger problems than the money they lost.
Yeah, see, next year you might be able to go to HIaleah Park and just throw down some cash on the AUPL game of the week. You never know. They're changing all the laws.
Is that
But
Marco
the point
Ruiz?
is they're in trouble. They're in trouble at the moment.
Oh, so another Ruiz now taking the mound. Was it?
Ito in?
HIaleah.
Ruiz now. Say that again. Iroel Ruiz. Now the pitcher. That is a tongue twister any way you look at it.
It is. Does he have a nickname? Ito.
Okay.
All right, that
So
helps.
Ito
Yeah.
Ruiz.
Ito Ruiz.
It's still a tongue twister. So 2 sets of brothers and a father-son combination on the Phillies. So nepotism is king on the Phillies.
Let's see.
And also, we have a father and 2-son combination, as the father and the son are not here. But Greg Rosario's brother, Melvin, also plays for the Phillies, and his father played Major League Baseball and has played for the Phillies before.
We're losing the wind here as well. All right, so top of the 9th. Miami SNS. These are Sandlot Phillies.
Right at us.
5-1.
That is 3D right in your living room, folks. That's another camera that we'll need. Probably cost you about 40 grand. Is a 3D camera. That one gets away.
I think we've had some switches here for Miami SNS.
Gonna get some stuff together here.
All right. Oof. That one's way out. Ito Ruiz, I'm not sure who's batting now for SNS. As the player is wearing number 1, but that is not Nick Silva, as far as I can tell.
Ricky Alvarez.
Okay, so we got multiple number 1s. All right.
We do?
Yep.
Oh, because he's wearing a different type of jersey.
Right. So Alvarez has reached twice and scored once. Last at bat flew out to left field, and now he's going to take first base on a walk.
I'm gonna bring the car over.
So Emilio Medina up at the plate. He also accounted for a run for Miami SNS. That one's fouled up and back.
Arriba la casita. Se quedó arriba la casita.
Runner goes. He's going to make it to second easily. No throw. And he's going for third, and he's going to be gunned down on that. Oh, yeah. So Ricky Alvarez tries to press his luck, make it to third base. He doesn't get there. Another one. So 2 on, no out. Sorry, 1 on, no out, 1 out, and Mike Santana up at the plate. As Ricky Alvarez did not make it to third base. Emilio Medina now on first. Oh, looks like a pinch runner for Emilio. So. Okay, so looks like Ito Ruiz pitched and is out. Trying to figure out who the new pitcher is. Let's see. So. Unfortunately, we don't have any information on the new pitcher at the moment. Trying to get that to you if possible. Yeah. Don't think so. Well. Okay, so this is it. Last up for the Phillies. Bottom of the ninth here, down by 4 runs. Score is 5-1 for Miami S&S at the moment. That one's low and inside. This is Greg Rosario up at the plate again. He has reached all 3 times he's been at the plate today. 2 walks, and he was hit by a pitch. That one misses low as well. And he got hit by that one. He will take first base. So Rosario makes it to first after being plunked. He's going to bring up Carlos Reyes. The guy has been crazy busy behind the plate today. So far, nothing offensive out of Reyes today, but defensively, he's been stellar. We'll see if he can do a little something with the bat here and get something going for the Phillies. Another pitch low, and he's not biting. Reyes with a shot. That's going to get down. That'll move Rosario over to second base. Reyes with a nice single there. And the Sandlot Phillies have something going here at the end in the bottom of the ninth. 2 on, no out. It's going to bring up Simon Perez. Perez 0 for 3 on the day. He's flown out to second, center, and left field. That one low, he lays off it.
Keep your shoulder in.
Perez swings at that one, was low, but that ball does get away and will advance the runners. So Rosario over to third. Reyes to second.
But I want to see you load. Hit it hard.
Oh. Perez taking some swipes at the ground, basically, as these pitches, the bottom falls out at the end. And he is swinging like a golf swing here. Hopefully he's going to lay off the next one he sees down there. Wait for his pitch. That was better. A swing and a miss, but that was a pitch that was well worth taking a swipe at. And that is out number 1 for the Phillies. That's going to bring up 0. Who is player 0 for that? Okay, so this is Isaac Lepay. Isaac with a nice shot to left field. That should be easily played. That will, however, plate one for the Phillies. And they try to stretch it, so that is now 2 outs. 2 outs as Reyes tried to make it to third. Oh, and that's the game. Okay.
So that'll do it, folks.
Strikeout. Yes, that will do it.
I apologize. I was caught on the field there taking pictures as the sac fly does score a run. The runner was tagged out trying to attempt to go to third base. So the final score here from HIaleah Miami Lakes High School, Miami S&S 5, Sandlot Phillies 2. We want to thank everybody for joining us today. It has been, of course, our pleasure to bring it to you. For myself, Jay Hayback, and my broadcast partner, Justin Bresner, you have been watching AUBL Miami Baseball on the South Florida Broadcast Network. The final score for the final time, Miami S&S 5, Sandlot Phillies 2.
Yeah, my book's all kinds of off.
What?
I only have 2 outs there. So.